Alright guys, I am ranking the top 10 most popular locations for meeting women in 2025 from absolute trash to actually pretty useful. I'm going to be grading them based on likelihood of success and the quality of women you meet there. My name's Andrew. I am a professional dating coach. I've helped guys from all over the world get into relationships and meet their dream girl. And I'm going to be holding back one special location till the end that every guy needs to hear. So let's get into this. I'm starting with a big one. Tinder. So, not gonna lie, this is going directly into fucking E tier, and let me show you why. Tinder is probably the most disastrous app that has happened to mankind other than TikTok. It has destroyed male confidence. I've seen this with the guys that come to me. They almost have PTSD from going on Tinder, where they feel like dating is only about looks. Because on Tinder, it kind of is. All we do is swipe based on appearance, and it corrupts our view of the world to think that we're only valuable if we can present and be pretty. And like, it's just a devastating app. I think there's a 1 in 115 chance of a guy getting a like on a dating app if he's average looking. That is disgraceful. I had that with my own experiences growing up using it. Unless you are some like Giga Chad kind of guy, using Tinder is just going to destroy your self-confidence. It's honestly nowhere near as popular as it was when it first came out either. Women kind of just use it like a game for validation. So for those reasons, yeah, there's women on there, but it's going straight into fucking E tier for me. Right, next one. Number two, the gym. And I have mixed feelings about the gym because for me, I've had success there. I've been able to walk up, talk to girls, get their number, and take them on a date. But I've also had quite awkward moments. I remember one time I walked up to a girl and approached her, and it was going quite well. And I chatted to her, asked her for a number, and she was like, "Oh, I've got a boyfriend." And it turned out it was the PT that was actually training someone really close by. So it was just a bit awkward. And that's what I mean. It's like we have good quality girls there. So if we're talking quality, it's really, really good. But likelihood of success is not easy for a guy that's not familiar with approach. And honestly, I'd recommend going a little less direct in there just to avoid that kind of awkwardness. And for that reason, I'm putting it into C. It has got good quality women there, but I'm still not recommending it. Now, we're ready for the big boy. Street approach. Okay, this is what I think should be every guy's bread and butter to meeting women in 2025. It allows you to meet infinite high quality women. I have gone out, I have met models, I have met like famous director girls out on the street by simply walking over and introducing myself. There is nothing in the way. And what I've found is, unlike in places like Tinder, where women kind of have their guard up, and even in nightclubs, what's coming along soon, women have their guard up, but in the daytime, you meet them, you're just two people. So they actually are open to that kind of conversation. You meet as equals. It's not like, oh, please, can I get a moment of your attention? No, it's none of that. Like, we walk over, I introduce myself, and we get into a conversation. And this is how I met the girl that I date today. I met my girlfriend by walking over and doing exactly what you can see on screen. And yeah, I appreciate it's not the easiest skill to learn immediately. But with a bit of support, I've now taken over 60 guys through this of building up the skill to walk over, introduce themselves, and then meeting women, going on dates. It's as simple as that. So for that reason, I'm saying you can meet high quality women and your likelihood of success is really just down to you. It's just a numbers game. If you speak to enough women and you improve your skill with approach, guaranteed. Typically, when I go out, I would say 1 in every 5 goes very well and can turn into a date. I think when I met my girlfriend, she was the second girl that I spoke to that day. Next, number three, and I've actually kind of split this. So this is working and professionally speaking. I've split it up because I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of both a A and a D at the same time. Anyone that has worked in customer service, these kind of like service-based jobs, which we have up here, is actually pretty sick. If you work as like a barman, you're surrounded by girls, you know what? It's great. Like, you can meet women easy. If you're just on a team, you're all quite young, you're all like getting on with each other, you're going out for like drinks and stuff after. You know what? In those kind of situations, if you have a job like that, it's pretty spectacular. So I'm going to put that up in A tier. Proximity wise is fucking great. I highly, highly recommend it. However, let's say you work in an office job like I did, finance. Well, one, there was no bloody women there whatsoever. It was just us nerds crunching spreadsheets 24/7. I was just like, that was my life. And then on top of that, you have the kind of tetchiness of really not great if we make an approach and it goes wrong and then it's awkward and then HR, whatever, all that stuff gets involved. And if you're someone that's in like a high powered position, it's just quite high risk. We do have that proximity and maybe we're positioned around women that we quite like. But for me, I think it just gets slammed straight into D tier. I don't think likelihood of success is that high. The quality is not good, and it just comes with a high degree of risk. So, you know what? If you're a high-powered lawyer, you could always just quit your job, go work at Hooters, or yeah, you'd probably crush it. Go be like a barman somewhere. Insane. Anything in like catering, hospitality, any of that. Next, we have got Instagram, which is becoming some weirdly popularized way to meet women. And it's if you curate this perfect profile and then send out cold DMs like we're doing some like multi-level marketing strategy. As you can see, I'm not a fan. Like, I think it's just a waste of time and it's kind of weird. You're just there curating this online lifestyle to reach out to girls and get them to be interested in you. And it just seems like so much effort, especially because what if we put all of our time into curating this perfect lifestyle, but then we turn up on a date and we're kind of awkward and clunky anyway? Well, great. I still can't get the girl. So for that reason, honestly, I kind of put Instagram into D tier, even though online they're starting to say it's a better strategy. Like maybe if you've got like 2 million followers and you start reaching out to girls, I'm like, yeah, okay. But if you have like 2 million followers, it's just kind of weird. You're getting girls interested for your clout as opposed to who you are. So Instagram, D tier. Now, let's talk classes. So these are distinct sort of like classes, clubs, running clubs, yoga, that kind of thing. For me, I think they're not bad. I genuinely think they're not bad. I've worked with a guy and he was in running clubs, he was in book clubs, and he did pretty well out of that. He got multiple dates. He was going up, talking to women. The quality of women that's there is pretty good, to be honest. And likelihood of success, I would say not bad. I don't think it's as good as Street Approach, and you have to be careful. Like, come on here. If we're talking about, let's go to the five-a-side football league, realistically, that's not going to happen, is it? You're just going to be chatting to like fucking Brad and Tom, wondering where all the girls are. But if you explore things that are kind of interesting to you, but also likely to have women knocking about, so as I say, you kind of like yoga clubs, your book clubs, your running clubs, they're actually pretty good. I remember a female friend of mine, she ended up meeting a guy through running club and like they're still dating. So for me, it's not bad. It just takes like a bit more effort. You have to be a little bit more in there for the long haul. Maybe you're not just doing it on the first time you're there, but B tier, B tier. Okay then, boys and girls. Right, Meetup. I don't know what number this is one of them, but Meetup is just a bit trash. I am sorry. I've been to these. It's kind of like organized fun at times. You can see in this image when it's just like the socializer. I'm not a fan. I just think the people that it tends to attract aren't really the best. You're looking for like a diamond in the rough. What I do think it has going for it is that I send my clients to this sort of stuff just to be able to like warm up their social skills, get pretty good at meeting new people, engaging, being a bit more dynamic. And maybe they can bump into a girl there, but often it's just like Dungeons and Dragons events with the sweaty geeks. Like I've been to one of those. It was real fun, but I'm telling you, it was not it was not the spot for you to be able to meet your next girlfriend. So for those reasons, I think I'm gonna give it a generous D because you always have the chance of a unicorn. I what I'll say is if you are in a major city again, I've had guys in like New York do okay at Meetup, but if you're in anything other than a major metropolitan city with a high density of young women, no, no. Okay, next, Hinge. So I'm not going to be as brutal as I was about Tinder or about Hinge. I think it has its place. We've got some classic, whatever, Lana Del Rey girl here. So Hinge isn't bad, and I'll tell you why. It isn't all about appearance. It's not a swipe-based platform. You can actually send a message to somebody before you've matched them, so it allows you to give that extra bit of personality. And what I've seen a lot of the time is when I've taken clients and gotten them really good at approaching, their skills are dynamic, they're like fast on their feet, they're really charming and charismatic. Sometimes they've met girls through approach, but then sometimes it's been Hinge because they've worked on all those skills, so their like success rate on dates skyrockets. So the problem is the guys that only use Hinge as a strategy to date, well, they never really get to that many dates. So then when they get to the date, it's pressure on the date and they don't come across very well. They're not used to socializing with women. They're not used to being quick on their feet, which approaching teaches you. So I think it's a good strategy-ish if used in tandem with some of these others. So for me, there's decent quality girls on there. Your chance of success is higher than Tinder as well. I typically find that girls that go on Hinge are looking to date. So what we're going to say is I'm going to put it, if used in combination with approach, it's an A. If it's used on its own, it's somewhere near like a B, C. So I know you're a chap, you're a top G. You're going to be a guy that is going to take this advice and combine it up with approaching. So we're going to slip it nicely into here. Okay, final one before that bonus feature, the one that every guy needs to hear, is nightclubs. Let's talk about that. I love this image, by the way. This is like classic British culture of the guy just going over and thinking he can charm her with his like ultimate team record or his COD kill streak. So I've been that guy. Like I was not cool yet at 18. I was struggling. I was still struggling. So nightclubs, I think they're past their best. That is something that I will say. I think there was a peak time for nightclubs, and that was somewhere in the late 2000s to 2010s kind of region, and they were electric. It was before smartphones, and I think girls are a little bit less open to dating and going out with guys that they meet on a night out. But they're not done. I think if you do this properly, if you go to bars and you go over, you speak to women, you can still pull this off. You can meet fairly high quality. Let's say if you're going to a nightclub at 3 a.m., you're probably not meeting the upper echelons, let's say. But there's still an ability to meet women there. Typically, what I'd recommend if you're going to do this, you need to go out early because the women that are open to going home with somebody or like meeting people, they'll meet guys earlier on in the night. If you're there that like you're the guy that goes out at midnight and then is trying to get with a girl at like 3 a.m., you're fighting an uphill battle. It's just not ideal. You want to be that guy that's out early. Girls go out earlier. You're socializing. You're talking to girls in bars. If you're at a nightclub, I still typically don't try and go for night dance floor game. It's a lot more like to speak to a girl at the bar. So for this reason, I think it's very middle of the pack. I think it's still doable. I've done it, but I wouldn't rest your hopes on it. Okay, this is our ranking, but I did say I had one more for you. I've weighted very heavily in real life because I do still believe that is effective with a top up of Hinge. But all you guys watching, let's introduce one more. And this is your stinky dungeon basement bedroom. And whether you're successful in life, yes, you're a software engineer and you're crushing it and you've got your place, your bedroom is still not going to be the place that you meet women. As tempting as it is to open up another tab, play video games for another freaking 2 hours, it's not going to happen. We're not in the age of handouts for men in dating. I'm sorry, that's just not what we live in. If you want to make this happen, stop waiting for it to happen and start to put yourself out there. Because in your bedroom, like this is below E tier. Like we've got an imaginary F tier right there, because that's where it is. Do not be the guy that waits around in his bedroom for women to come to him because it's never going to happen. And if you want to know how you can start approaching women, my very easy 4-step framework, I break it down for you in this video. It's the same one I take my clients through. I know you'll love it. Get out there and start meeting women.